Good Sunday morning, everyone. Meteorologist Andrew Wilson here with an update to your forecast. As we like to do every Sunday, we'd like to give you an idea on what you can expect here as we head throughout the week ahead. And you can see for today, first of all, we're going to start off with what we can expect for Sunday because it is going to be an active weather day for us. We do have some shower activity that's stationed just down to the southwest of North Georgia. That is going to be moving over us as we head throughout this afternoon, and we are going to be dealing again with some of those showers. So first off, let's take a look at what's happening right now because I know some of y'all may be watching this update live. Of course, we do these updates every single Sunday at 11 a.m. and then Wednesdays at 2:30 p.m. So you can catch these updates that get you started for the week ahead and also for the weekend. Whenever we're doing our Wednesday update, we like to just kind of give you a little bit of a preview of what you can expect here for what we'll get not just for the next 7 days, but we also like to look at the extended outlook. If you maybe have some plans for the early to middle portion of December, and then also taking a look at the tropics. We'll look at all that here in just a moment. First off, Midtown Atlanta right now, 46 degrees. It's 49 out at the airport. Not seeing any weather delays out at the airport. You love to see that. And we may end up having a couple this afternoon. It's possible because there's going to be a little bit of rain out there. Not going to be really disruptive weather, but again, just a few showers here and there. I wouldn't expect anything too serious out there at the airport if we do get any delays from the weather. Looking out towards Mercedes-Benz Stadium, of course, a big game today. Falcons are taking on the Saints, and temperatures, they're going to be pretty cool out there. They're going to be in the 50s. Now, of course, we can close the roof of Mercedes-Benz Stadium, but it will be still cool when you're walking from the car to the stadium. Temperatures are going to be in the 40s and 50s there. Kickoff at 1 p.m. And also we're going to be dealing with some showers around that time frame. So make sure that you have an umbrella with you or a poncho, whatever you can do to stay dry when you're walking from the stadium to your car and vice versa. Again, here's that shower activity already starting to move into the region. Let me go ahead and pause everything real quick. You see the latest run of the loop showing a lot of the shower activity again south of Atlanta for the most part. But then we have a good amount of shower activity over towards the Birmingham area and stretching over towards the Mississippi-Alabama state line. That is all moving into our direction. A wider look across the southeast shows all that kind of shifting up into our region. And all this is getting sparked up by a cold front that's sweeping across the southeast at the moment. It's going to bring us some cooler air here as we head throughout the early portion of the week. So taking a look at Forecast Track, the weather models I'm going to tell you right now, actually, while we're moving through Forecast Track here, they are not handling this rain well. I actually have a higher chance for rain today than what the weather models are showing because they're not handling how much moisture we have in the atmosphere as well as I think we are going to be having. So right now it's trying to show that by 12:30 p.m. today, only a spotty shower or two. I don't think we're going to be that dry. I think we are going to have some more rainfall out there, including from 1 to 2 to 3 and even 4 o'clock. Right now at 4 o'clock, one of these weather models that we like to look at here is showing that we're pretty much only going to have a spotty shower or two. I think we have more widespread rainfall by that point this afternoon. Light to moderate rain, not talking about the really heavy stuff and not talking about any thunderstorm activity, but still going to be a little more shower activity out there. Temperatures will be rising into the lower 50s for highs. So, we're in the 40s right now, only rising into the 50s, in the 40s rather as of about 11:05 here this morning, but only into the 50s this afternoon because of all that cloud cover, the rain keeping us cool, and then the wind starts to switch more out of the northwest here by the time we head into this evening. Notice that cold front will have passed through. Those winds starting to move a little bit more out of the northwest. Still a few spotty showers even by the time we get to about 10:30, but then the rain chances will fizzle out by the time you wake up tomorrow. Tomorrow, I think we will have a few clouds out there, temperatures in the lower 40s to upper 30s, and then that cloud cover will thin out quickly and we'll be left with a mostly sunny sky by the afternoon on Monday. Great with the sunshine. Strong winds, though. Drier air. May end up having some fire danger there as we head throughout the day on Monday due to the fact that we'll have the drier air in place and the fact that we still have drought. So even despite the fact if we get some rainfall today, still could be some fire danger because of strong winds, dry air, makes it easier for a fire to spread. So please, try to avoid doing any bonfires or anything tonight, even though we do have that rainfall. So windy tomorrow, northwest wind there, probably really west-northwest wind at about 10 to 20 miles per hour for our day there on Monday. Tuesday, we start off with calmer winds. The winds calm down, the skies stay clearer. Calm winds, clear skies make for cold nights, which means Tuesday morning we start off cold. Temperatures are going to be in the 20s and 30s, close to freezing here in Atlanta. I think we stay just a degree or two above freezing though for the Atlanta area, and then we'll see those temperatures rebound eventually into the 50s for the afternoon on Tuesday before we retreat back to the 30s overnight Tuesday night to Wednesday. So big trough sweeping across the United States. You can kind of see the motion here where we get the winds kind of zooming down from the northwest down to the southeast and then kind of curving back on up here. Think of this like whenever we say troughs and ridges in the jet stream, we're talking about valleys. That's a valley of cold air that you're seeing right here that is going to be moving across the United States. You see those darker blues that try to start to show up. That's a valley of cooler air that zooms across the United States, kind of gets stationed over the eastern half of the U.S. here as we head into the early part of the week. This is Monday at 7:30 p.m. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday kind of stationed over us. And then look what happens as we head into the end of the week. We start to see those winds come a little bit more out of the southwest. So we're going to go on a warming trend here as we head into the end of the week. And we're also going to get a brief rain chance. We call this right here a short wave. That little feature where you're seeing just a little valley or one of those little troughs. We call that a short wave in the jet stream, and those can spark up shower activity. We'll get some more showers back in here by the time we head into the end of the week. So looking at the high temperatures here as we head throughout the next week, again, there's that cooler air that we were just talking about with the jet stream. Temperatures only rising into the lower 50s for highs there Monday and Tuesday, warming back up into the lower 60s by Thursday and Friday. As we just mentioned, the winds start to come a little bit more to the southwest. We go on that warming trend, and that short wave feature we talked about, seeing a few isolated showers on Friday, and those rain chances are going to continue into Saturday of next week. We need the rainfall too because we are still under a half of an inch away from behind under a half of an inch behind on where we should be for the month, 1.4 inches. But still, we need the rainfall to help catch up a little bit. We are going to finish up November, though, I believe, behind average on rainfall, unfortunately, even though we are going to get some more rainfall today. So we are seeing the shower activity again moving across portions of the United States, moving into our area. We like to see that. We'll see a little bit of rainfall today. That's going to help with the drought situation. Again, we have severe to exceptional drought there into far north Georgia, really even extreme to exceptional drought rather, and severe drought closing in on the metro Atlanta area. We have moderate drought in Atlanta, but likely going to see some improvement here as we head throughout the next week because we are going to pick up some rainfall. Not enough to fix this number completely. Notice that we are way behind where we should be, nearly 8 inches now behind our normal year to date for rainfall, but we are going to pick up a good amount of rain, not just today, but also for Friday and Saturday of this next week. So some of this rain falls today, but I think a majority of it will fall actually for Friday and Friday night into Saturday, picking up anywhere from 1 inch to 2 inches of rainfall, which again should help out with some of those drought conditions that we're dealing with. So bringing up your 7-day forecast. Again, we have the 60% chance for rain today. On Monday, drier, cooler air starts to move in. We start off with just a few clouds, and then those clouds move out. It will be a lot of sunshine by the end of the day on Monday. So you see that cloud, but that's really for the morning. 33 when you're waking up on Tuesday, 52 for the high, and then we stay colder there for Wednesday too, 34 for the low, 57 for the high, and then we go on that nice warming trend again for the end of the week, 61 there. That's right where we should be. A 10 on the wazometer for now, but you may see that get bumped up to 11 later on this week. 30% chance for rain on Friday. Best chance for rain will be overnight Friday into Saturday morning, and just a few lingering showers there on Saturday. Temperatures going to stay above average into the 60s. But what about the 8 to 14 day outlook? What about beyond the next 7 days? Let's look at that. Taking a look at your first full week of December here, looks like we will be above average for temperatures. So that trend that we see at the very end of the 7-day forecast where temperatures are in the 60s, looks like we could stay that way. Mid-60s would be above average for this time of year. And then it also looks like we're going to have above average rainfall. We need a few weeks of that, to be honest. We really need to help cure this drought situation that we're dealing with. And above average rain looks pretty good for the early part of December. And December is one of our wetter months of the year, on average rather. So to see that we have above average rainfall possible there for the 8 to 14 day outlook, that's good. We want to see that. Your tropical outlook over the next 7 days, not any chance for development. Of course, the season ends on the 30th, so just a few days away here, we're going to see the hurricane season come to a close. We've had a lot of named systems too, all the way through Tammy on the list. Vince and Whitney were the only two names we didn't use this year, so you could definitely say it was an above average season. While we didn't have a lot of storms that made landfall, it was above average because of all the systems that were out there in the Atlantic. And those are the best kind of storms, the storms that just stay out over water. Unfortunately, we did have some storms that made landfall, but a majority of them stayed out over water. September 10th, that's the climatological peak, and honestly this year, that's when we saw a majority of our activity. Our season was pretty much on par for frequency of tropical systems. Right there around September 10th, we had a lot of activity, and then things have really quieted down as we've headed into the end of November, and let's hope it stays that way and we finish off the season with those quieter conditions. Quick look at your Peach State outlook across the state of Georgia, noticing that over the next 3 days here from Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, everyone's going to be cooler with those highs in the 50s. Going to have drier conditions too for everyone from Monday through Wednesday. Not expecting really any rainfall. So if you're doing any traveling, maybe you've got to travel back home from the holidays, you're still visiting from some family, you will be able to get home just fine without any rain there. But again, it will be cooler. Looking at your weekend getaways, again, this is for next weekend. Looking pretty good if you're going to be headed up to maybe the mountains to see some waterfalls, but that's about it. If you're headed down to Destin, rainy conditions, maybe staying in the condo and playing cards or some board games with the family, not the best weather to be headed down to the beach. Gatlinburg, if you can manage the rain, great hiking. Temperatures in the 60s, that's honestly above average for Gatlinburg this time of year. So head out to maybe Abrams Falls out there near Cades Cove. Could be a beautiful shot of the waterfall being a little bit more swollen from the rainfall that they'll be having here as we head into the weekend. Charleston, going to be dealing with some storms. Savannah, similar conditions over the weekend. And Lake Lanier, right here near the Atlanta area, going to be dealing with some rain as well. So it lets you know a lot of rainfall is going to be possible next weekend. If you need to get anything done this next week before the rain arrives, make sure you get it done. Again, we are expecting some good rain chances next week. Looking at tomorrow, maybe you want to go out do some hiking. Here's a look at your Georgia State Park forecast. Looking like we could have some great hikes ahead of us for Monday. As long as you bundle up, you're going to need a good jacket. Temperatures in the 30s to start off with there. Amicalola Falls could be right above the freezing point at 33, rising up to only the 40s with a lot of sunshine in the afternoon, and it will be very windy. So if you're doing any overlooks, watch your steps. Please be careful out there if you're doing any overlooks. You want to make sure that you're being safe if you're out there doing any hiking. We're going to leave you with the 7-day forecast here. Of course, don't forget you can get your 11 Alive forecast and an update on the weather on the go with the 11 Alive app. Make sure you download that. You can also download the 11 Alive Plus app to your Roku and Fire TV device. That way you can get extra updates like the one you're watching right now, right there at your fingertips. And then also, we like to put extra stories and more long form content there on our 11 Alive Plus app. Make sure you download it so you can see those stories, those ones that you may have a little more interest in. And then, of course, you can get updates on 11 Alive itself, the NBC affiliate here in Atlanta. Chief Meteorologist Chris Holcomb is actually going to be in this evening. He's on every evening as well from Monday through Friday, keeping everyone updated. Meteorologist Chesley McNeil is on in the mornings. You can catch myself on weekend mornings, and then meteorologist Melissa Nord is on at 4 o'clock in the afternoon there from Monday through Friday. We still have meteorologist Nicole Hartford. She's out on maternity leave right now, but she'll be back in just a couple months. Have a wonderful week ahead of you, and we'll keep you updated on everything right here at 11 Alive.